So far, I've had coffee explode on me. I don't know why I thought the onions would be different. Burned my mouth on some mac and cheese. Yeah, this is going well. Okay, so step one, cut all the onions. Get out all of your emotional baggage. Hi, I'm Kat and I'm the Rain Coast Vegan. It has been snowing for days. It has snowed so long I don't remember what grass looks like. Yes, I am from BC and I am exaggerating, but really, the snow needs to stop. I think we moved here in the 80s to avoid the snow. I'm originally from Ontario, and I'm not a fan of this. It is cold and wet. We have been through ice storms, -18, +45. It's been a real 6 months. Massive floods. With it being January 2022. With us being about halfway through Veganuary. And with the looming lockdown that we were all anticipating happening. I think it's time for some comfort food. For me, comfort food comes in one form and one form only. That is a complete lie. It comes in many forms. Onion soup is my go-to. Do I feel sick? Onion soup. Do I feel sad? Onion soup. Is it cold outside? Onion soup. Is it Friday and I don't know what else to make? Onion soup. Onion soup is the thing that I rely on to get me through the winter in BC, which is normally rainy. And if we could go back to the rain, I would really appreciate it, Mother Nature. Not the floods. Not the floods. Back that up a little bit. Not the floods, just the rain. I'm going to be making a really simple onion soup. I'm just one person, so I'm just making a pot for me that'll last maybe 2 days. And I'm gonna give you a really simple recipe. What I found that's a real game changer though, is this Beefless Broth from President's Choice. You can get it at Superstore. It is not expensive. And it has been the missing ingredient since I went plant-based in my onion soup recipe. I have tried every kind of vegetable stock. Those work perfectly in this too. I've made my own. I've made mushroom stock. It all works really well in this. However, the PC Beefless Broth, not an ad, it's just really good. They make a chicken one too. I use that standard in all my soups now. Mostly because it's a bit of a pain to make your own vegetable broth. There's a lot of herbs and a lot of stuff that goes into it, and it's just really convenient. So pick it up if you can find some. If you live in a place that you don't have a Real Canadian Superstore, which is understandable, just look for your best vegetable broth that's out there. Do read the ingredients. Sometimes they include things that are not vegan. They include other sort of stuff in there, so be careful. But this is my current favorite. I'll give you the ingredient list. It is water, concentrated vegetable juices of celery, onion, carrot, and mushroom, salt, natural flavor, yeast, sunflower oil, balsamic vinegar, sugar, bay leaves, spice, garlic, and citric acid. Small caveat, you're probably gonna judge me on my chopping skills. I'm okay with that. The onions get cut and I don't cry. It's fine. I'm cooking this in just my, I don't know, this big, about the size of your head, the smaller Dutch oven. It's a pretty foolproof recipe. You need olive oil, onions, garlic, whatever garlic you've got, fresh thyme. If you don't have fresh thyme, I've sometimes used dried thyme or dried herb de Provence is really good, and some type of broth. That's it. You also need patience because the secret to a good French onion soup is caramelizing your onions properly. You may wonder if I have secrets how not to cry. I do not. I wear contact lenses and onions don't affect me. So I guess my secret would be have bad vision, get some contacts. I'm not too fancy about cutting my onions for onion soup because it is only just me eating it, so I don't mind if they're really big to just slice them in half. I know some people say you need to have perfect rings. I would rather not cut my finger in half, and I would rather just have it a little easier. So I cut them in half. That's my own personal deal. You know what? You cut onions however you see fit. You want enough onion. You don't want it to be more broth than onion. And yes, there is a good part of me that's hoping I don't chop my finger off on camera. I think there's probably a lot of people that associate onion soup with the cheesy Gruyere topping to onion soup. Now, that isn't 100% necessary. It's never been the thing that I love about onion soup. I like the actual broth of onion soup. Everybody has their own reasons though, so I get it. I would say if you do want to do that whole crust on the outside, then a nice baguette would be good. There's a ton of plant-based cheeses out there. I personally just eat it as is. I am cutting this onion terribly. And remember when I said I don't cry? Well, this one's a spicy onion. Anyway, so if you're doing the chopping safely, I think it's something like put your knuckles in and do something like this and push the onion. There's lots of videos on how to not cut off your fingers. If you've never cooked with an onion before, I recommend you watch them. Jamie Oliver is a really good resource for that. Actually, I would say outside of my grandmother and my mother and my father, outside of the people in my family who cook, Jamie Oliver has been my biggest influence on cooking. Seriously, what is in these onions? Okay, I don't really know why I thought this was going to be a good idea. It's fine, guys. You know, these are emotional times, and maybe what we all need is just cut a few more onions, you know? I'm hoping that by the time this goes up, things are a little bit better, but to be honest, it's not looking so great. Here in BC at least, well, I think worldwide, we're in kind of the middle of the Omicron outbreak when I'm filming this. So, you know, welcome the tears if they come. You should have a big pile of them, more if you're doing this for more people. They will cook down quite a lot when we start browning them. And if I can figure out how to do it, I'm gonna show you how to cook it in the pot and caramelize it really well. I will just remind you that I am still dealing with a tripod that's sort of super glued together. So, fingers crossed for me. All right, so in a pot, add olive oil. Wait until it ripples and then add your onions. Ta-da! Onions. Now resist the urge to touch these for about half an hour. The key to really good onion soup is not rushing it. You have to let the onions caramelize. Do not add sugar or vinegar or other things to it. Let them cook. They will caramelize. Make sure you're using a very sturdy pot. They will start to char at the bottom a little bit and brown up. And if you have a thin walled pot, you're gonna more likely burn than anything else. So use that sturdy pot that you have, put them on, try not to touch them for at least the first 20 minutes. You'll know, you'll start to smell them. Just don't stir them. You're gonna wanna stir them, but until you start seeing the brown stuff, don't stir them. Next up, garlic. For those who might be wondering what I'm using, it's a Provençal grater. My parents got it for me in Palm Desert. So, not at all France, but they are a game changer. Grates everything perfectly. I'm using some local Russian red garlic that we got from the Okanagan. That always gets stuck in the tube. These are really simple to use. You just get them a little wet and then you grate. I will try to figure out what the company is called, but I do know that they got it at the flea market, the College of the Desert flea market, I think, in Palm Springs. I think they're awesome. If you can find one, buy one. So you just want to grate up 1 clove of garlic. Do watch your fingers. I used to have an old teacher who used to call everything taboo or tell us that things were a hazard. And as I've grown older, I've come to really appreciate his mindset. And I'm not just saying that because I was super accident prone. But watch your fingers when you're grating garlic or anything. And because I'm gonna put my garlic and thyme in at the same time, I'm just gonna strip it now and pour it in the dish so it's just a little bit easier. I have washed this. If you have a herb garden, that's really great. I sort of have a herb garden in that I started growing herbs and then forgot them and left them in the snow. So I grow really nice mint. The summer heat wave did sort of ravage my garden. I'm hoping next year to get back out there. If you're at all interested, let me know. Maybe I'll do some videos about that. I'm trying to grow my own food this year. There's a lot of word that food prices are going up and that we should be a little bit more prepared over the next year or so. And while I do like to support my local farms, I also am gonna try gardening some of my own food this year, in theory. So I got my pile of thyme that I poorly took off the stem and my garlic. I'm gonna wait about 30 minutes. And then once the onions start caramelizing, I'm gonna add it in. Then from there, you add in a container of this and you cover it for about 45 minutes. Literally super easy. Nope, not time yet. Well, I let it go a bit too long. But you are looking for brown before you start stirring. You want to get all of that good fond at the bottom going. So we're getting there. Okay, we're getting there. Not quite, just a little bit more. Ideally, you want to have no white bits, like nothing like this. You want all this good dark stuff down below. So just wait until it hits that point. Once it's that beautiful golden color, add in a bunch of cracked black pepper, fresh thyme, and your garlic. Then we're going in with the President's Choice Beefless Broth. Woo! Try not to spill it everywhere. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. What? The thing I love most about making the onion soup is that it's kind of a staple that anybody could eat. You could make this for vegans, non-vegans, doesn't really matter. Everybody can enjoy it, and I think that's really important when we talk about being a flexitarian or a vegan or plant-based or anything that people are leaning into now. Give people options, things that they like. Now, full disclosure, I am not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor, but I do know that this whole myth about vegans never get enough protein just isn't true. I can tell you for a fact I get plenty of protein, and you don't need to eat it at every single meal, and I always feel full. So if you're thinking soup is not a meal, let me tell you, soup is a meal. All right, we're gonna wait for this to boil, and once it does, we're gonna reduce it to a medium-low, cover it, and let it go for about 45 minutes. Controversial opinion, but I don't add salt at this point. I find that it can be really easy to oversalt your soup, and so I prefer to do it after the fact when I'm serving. Depending on the stock that you're using, it may be too salty for your taste. I know, people want to see that I actually eat the food. Here, look, steaming hot, just reheated it. It's gonna be my work lunch today. Don't burn your mouth, don't burn your mouth. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and a comment. I'd really appreciate it. If there's anything that you want to know how to make plant-based or any products you want me to review, leave a comment down there and I will get back to you and I will hopefully try them in the future videos. Thanks for watching. I keep forgetting, subscribe, please subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. Make sure you are using a very heavy body. I almost did the worst possible thing. Nope. Come on, you're supposed to make things easier. It's a pretty foolproof.